Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. Today I wanted to go through and give XRP Army a new update. XRP has recently sold off, but I do not believe that this is the end. In fact, I do strongly believe that we're going to continue to see much more upside on that macro trend. I wanted to go through, talk to you guys about why I don't think the market structure is bearish and how this is merely just a retest of the previous resistances now acting as support. People that are ignoring the FUD, people that are willing to focus on that macro trend are going to be the people that make the majority of this ROI heading into this next bull trend. This is a coin that you don't want to miss out on, and there's a lot of really important updates that are going to really change your perspective on this one moving forward. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And always remember, guys, I have the fastest growing and the very best Discord community out there for crypto. Over 16,000 members, and this sucker's growing super fast. So if you guys would like access, it's free for anybody that wants to. All you guys got to do to join is to click inside of the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord server. Now on the Discord server, I also offer my more exclusive content like the video course and signals. So if you're somebody that wants to get access in on that, make sure that you guys stay all the way to the end of this video because I'm going to be taking a couple minutes to explain how you guys can get signed up, the pros of doing so, and what it's going to take to get you guys going today. Alrighty guys, we got a lot of really exciting stuff to talk about with XRP. I know that you guys are going to absolutely adore this update because there is a lot of profit potential coming. So without further ado, let's jump right into it today. So taking a look at XRP, overall, not much has changed from my last update, besides the fact we actually did get a little bit of a sell-off. Now, when I look at this chart, obviously we came back and retested this major resistance that we've been having for a little while. This is a really strong area of supply. And, every time we hit this level, we continue to reject and fall lower. But I'm here to tell you guys that I'm still not leaning towards a big bearish bias. Even though we rejected off of this resistance and we're falling lower, I still really like the setup and everything that we're seeing thus far. In fact, the way that this looks to me is still just the same concept as before. The only real difference is we did kind of sell off a little bit. Now, this was just wave 1. In my opinion, this was wave 3. And we're just falling back down to retest support of the 1 before we get one more impulse that's going to take us upwards of probably around 40 cents, 40 to 50 cents, depending on how crazy this thing gets. But overall, I'm still awaiting for the potential of a breakout here. Now, one thing I want to talk to you guys about, even though we got rejected at this resistance, there is a couple things that I wanted to pay attention for you guys. Now, this is the descending resistance. This is what I've been watching for a while now. This was the thing that I wanted to see break. When we could break this, I figured that this was going to be a go-to for the moon. And I told you guys that it was likely that we were going to end up retesting this resistance up here if we did in fact break from this downtrend, which is exactly what happened. We managed to get an impulse, we came back up and retested that 30 to 33 cent mark, and from there we did manage to get a pullback. Now, one of the things I wanted to keep you guys updated with is the fact that even though we're pulling back, this is oftentimes what happens when we break from a downtrend. And so there's really no reason to be too shaken up. There's no reason to have a lot of fear right now because this is just a classic example of a support and resistance flip. Now, one of the ways that we do this, guys, is support and resistance flips actually happen like this on a horizontal support or resistance range. And they also happen on sloping downtrends as well. And so generally speaking, you'll have a downtrend. And then when that downtrend has been broken, we break out of it. If it's diagonal like this, then normally we come back down to retest that. And on this downtrend is where we actually start to act as support, right? So we have this downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. We break out from that, and then we correct back down to retest this, except instead of acting as resistance, it acts as support, and then we go up again, right? And that's the way trend reversals oftentimes happen whenever we're trading these diagonal trend lines. Now, the same thing can be told with horizontal. The only difference is instead of going down, we're just kind of going sideways. And then when we break this level, this is where you want to buy, the retest of that before we get more upside, right? So those are really some of the two most profitable patterns in which I've been able to trade. I generally like to stick to support and resistance because it's just a lot easier to follow along with. I don't need fancy indicators. I don't need anything like that. I can just analyze a level that's been strong. In this case, this has been a major resistance. We did reject off of this, but the fact that we're still coming after a breakout of a major downtrend, I'm very confident in this thing moving forward. I'm not bearish in the slightest. I personally believe that this is going to get bought up and we're going to get the next impulse heading into this cycle. Now, one of the things I want to talk to you guys about is how we've actually seen this exact setup where we have the downtrend, we break out from it, and then we sell off for one more low to retest that. And I'm going to share with you guys the exact correlation that was. If we drop this to a log scale and we go back and look at the last cycle, you guys are going to see what I mean when I say this. Now, basically, we have this downtrending resistance, right? And this is something you've seen me update you with time and time again. Every time we hit this level, we fall lower, lower lows, lower highs. Every time we hit it, we fall lower. Until finally, what ends up happening is the buy pressure is just too great. The sellers are exhausted, and then we get a reversal of that trend, which is where, you know, prices themselves actually break out and start a new uptrend, which is what we see here, right? In this green box is where prices actually break outside of that downtrending resistance. And in fact, if we actually pull up the volume, you're going to see that we also get a big breakout in volume when that happens. And so this is pretty customary, guys. Even though, you know, we broke out, we still sold off for one more low. And this is kind of the same concept here, where I was just explaining how you'll have a downtrend. Every time we hit it, we fall lower. Eventually, prices break outside from that. And sometimes, you know, a couple of different scenarios. Sometimes they just keep impulsing after the breakout. Oftentimes, they actually sell off to fall all the way back down and retest that previous downtrend, except this time it acts as support. What happens shortly after is we get that massive breakout, right? Same thing is happening today. It's just happening in a different form, in a different way. And that's why I'm personally not super bearish on XRP and why I've continued to just invest into this, because this thing has flipped a major resistance, right? And we can see that here. This is just us retesting this as support. Yes, it's possible that we could sell back down a little lower, but that would actually invalidate the Elliott wave count, and it would make me rethink my strategy, because this to me just looks like a perfect one wave. This was our 3, and now this is us retesting the top of that 1 and into the 4 as support. And so if this is actually going to be a 1, 3, 5 Elliott wave impulse, we need support to hold where we're at right now. If we fall back within and we actually start to cross back within the resistance, or what I should say, back within the candle bodies of this, that would actually invalidate this entirely. Remember, guys, that with Elliott wave theory, wicks can cross within each other, so we can see that there's a wick here, but we haven't had candle bodies close below that. This, to me, is a perfect setup, and what we're actually seeing right now is just a textbook example of an A, B, C correction, falling back onto trending support, also falling back onto support of the previous 1 wave, which is pretty common in Elliott wave theory. Now, oftentimes, what you want to see in a 3 wave is you want to see it to hold the support a little bit higher than this. You know, sometimes the support will actually hold up a lot higher, and then we'll go into the 5 wave. Sometimes we don't actually have to all the way fall to retest that 1, but this is just something that's going to happen. I think that there's still a lot of selling pressure inside of XRP due to the fact people are still very skeptical, considering we've had such a gnarly correction. But I love this setup. I love everything that we're seeing about it. We've broken from our downtrend, which is what I've been wanting to see. The fact that we've broken from this, you know, even if we correct all the way back down, I don't care, because it doesn't change anything. From where we're currently sitting at today, you just aren't going to find this type of return on the majority of the high caps. Just back to its all-time high, you're looking at about a 14, 15x return, which is just astounding, guys. Where could you take $100 and turn it into $1,500 profit off of a high-cap crypto? It just doesn't really happen too often. And so the fact that we're still at these low support levels, it's just a steal. We're pretty much at my break-even point for my long-term bids. My long-terms are set at 23 cents, so we're pretty much right at that break-even point. That's my average entry for my accumulation inside of this market structure. And so for that, I'm just a long-term holder. I don't really care. You know, if it goes a little bit lower, it's whatever. I'm going to continue to watch this as a support and resistance flip. Now, the big thing next is going to be for us to clear back above, in my opinion, about this level here at about 30 cents. We got to get above this level here. Now, if we want to see XRP breaking into new all-time highs, we want support to hold here, and we want to see a buyback that takes us above this level. If we can get above this level, that's really going to set us up for a lot more upside potential, which is what we have to see. At this point, you know, as an XRP investor, it's really up to the market to decide what's going to happen at this point. We've broken from a couple key levels. We did get rejected off of this horizontal resistance at 30 cents. But, you know, this could just be a short-term pullback before we actually do get that buyback that takes place inside of this structure. Overall, I'm still bullish. I'm very much bullish. I love what we're seeing here. The fact that we've already retested all of the support of the 2017 consolidation, you know, I really like everything that we see. I don't think that there's really a lot more potential for more downside, because with everything starting to break out, with Ethereum flipping major resistances, I only see XRP going up from here, and that's what we need to pay attention for. Realistically, guys, we've been looking at the same consolidation for a while because of how similar this actually looks to the silver consolidation, where silver just kind of crashed, rounded out for a long time, and then it really started taking off. And so what we're waiting for is new all-time highs. Anybody that sells below all-time highs is doing themselves a major disservice, especially for you guys that actually held throughout all this bear market, because a lot of you guys bought the top. A lot of you guys bought all throughout here. I started actually accumulating XRP at 30 cents, and so I've had to bag hold on some losses. But nonetheless, I kept investing all the way through. And so as investors, guys, this is all a good buying opportunity. Pretty soon, a year down the line, we're going to look at XRP as it's just completely blasted well above and beyond this all-time high. And you're going to look at any of this consolidation as a great buying opportunity in hindsight. Whereas most people can't see the opportunity now, this is why we just have to do our part by dollar cost averaging, focusing on that macro trend, because the macro trend has stayed the same. It's stayed strong. Even though we're crashing and we've had a pretty gnarly bear market, if we drop it to a log scale, there isn't very many altcoins that have actually maintained support even as good as XRP. A lot of the old coins from the last cycle, you could go look at BitShares, you know, you could go look at NEM, you could go look at some of those other coins, and they've crashed a lot deeper than XRP did. XRP, the fact that it's maintained that top 3 status in market cap, shows that there's obviously a lot of value and there's a lot of demand heading into this coin. You know, XRP has continued to build, Ripple, they've continued to build, they've continued to add more partnerships. In fact, this is a more reputable company than 95% of the cryptos out there. And so anybody that tries to feed you some garbage that this thing is a shit coin, that this thing is just a scam, they just don't understand how XRP works, and they're going to miss out on the big gains. You know, a lot of people that are bearish on XRP, they have their own dumb belief systems as to why that is. Oh, it's the banker's coin. Oh, the founders dump on everybody. But when you actually break down some of these arguments that people have, you start to understand that it's just so obnoxious and they actually don't really know what they're talking about. One of the big key FUD pieces for XRP is the fact that, well, the CEOs and all of the founders dump on the market, which is true. Yeah, they do. But you guys got to remember that they've been doing that since the very beginning, because that is part of the tokenomics of XRP. The founders, since XRP was pre-mined, meaning they just created all 60 billion of them right from the get-go, and then they diversified into the founders' accounts, and then they put some on the open market for liquidity. Basically, what they ended up doing was they were going to sell part of that stack based off of a certain time frame, and however it works, and then they would sell onto the market, and this is actually how they add new XRP into the supply. And so, yes, the founders are making money by dumping XRP, but at the same time, they weren't making money all the way back down in here because XRP didn't do anything. This is the way that they add new coins to the supply, and when you actually break it down like that, XRP has less of an added inflation rate than Bitcoin, than Ethereum, than Litecoin, than EOS, than Bitcoin Cash. All of these major altcoins that are top 5, well, not top 5, but top 10, top 20, these are coins that have a higher inflation rate, and they actually aren't pre-mined. And so you got to think about it that way, guys. XRP, just because the founders are dumping on the market, they are using that founding profit to reinvest it back into Ripple to grow the ecosystem. And so, yeah, it's just a different form of tokenomics. It's a different form of a business model, but it doesn't mean that it's a scam just because it was pre-mined. Just because the founders sell onto the market, it doesn't mean that that's what's manipulating the price, because the amount that they're selling is less than miners are dumping onto the market with Bitcoin. So you guys just got to break it down simply. You can't overthink things too hard. You know, you're always going to hear those people shilling you some bullcrap idea, this dumb belief system, but it's just these people that literally don't know what they're talking about. People that like to talk the most know the very little. People that talk the most know the least about what they're talking about more often than not. Obviously, there's experts out there, but you don't listen to some Bitcoin maximalist for XRP advice, obviously. Does that make sense? Do you go to a plumber to fix your roof? Obviously not. It's the same thing. You guys got to understand that there's a difference between these people. If you want to learn about XRP, Go to somebody that knows about XRP. Don't go to the idiot that's trying to shill you Bitcoin or trying to shill you some other coin. It doesn't work like that. And when you actually dive into XRP, when you start to understand the greater picture, aside from the chart, you're going to understand that this coin has a lot of partnerships, a lot of huge banks are working with it every single day, and this is only going to continue to grow the more that we need cross-border payments. Because think about it, guys. When I use XRP, I can send a transaction in 10 seconds. Do you know the value that that brings to banks to be able to send any amount of money cross borders to any country, mitigate all of the risk with, just fiat in general, all of the fees, all of that type of stuff, interchanging between currencies? Guys, there's just so many different loopholes that XRP basically just cuts straight through like a knife. You don't want to mess around thinking that all of this FUD is real, when in actuality, this has been one of the best performing cryptos of all time. It's top 3 in market cap and has been that way for years and years and years. Why are you betting against that trend? You are destined to fail if that's your trading plan. People that are people that have it out for XRP are the people that literally just don't understand what they're talking about. And for me, I'm just an opportunist. I see this as an amazing market cycle. We're merely repeating the same cycle as back before. Big pump, corrective move, we break out right here, sell off for one more low, and then we start it again. Same thing happens here. 3 big pumps, start the downtrend, we break out of price right here, sell off for one more low, and now we're basically here. We're waiting for the spring-loaded bounce. In my opinion, we're about right here. That's exactly what this is here. It's just happening on a much bigger scale. And so what's going to follow from this is another big set of impulse waves. I personally foresee XRP at anywhere from 20 to 30 bucks. A lot of people are going to say, oh man, you're such an idiot, moon boy. XRP is not going to have $1 trillion in market cap. But I'm here to tell you that it probably will. Maybe I'm wrong and it doesn't happen in this cycle, but it's going to happen at some point. The amount of value that is constantly being transacted cross borders is a lot of money. And when these banks start to realize, hey, I could just use XRP to do this instantly, do you know how much value that frees up? How much time, how much energy? All of these things are very valuable, and people that can't see it, I don't need to argue with them. I don't need to explain this to them. I'm explaining this for the people that do understand it, for the people that are wanting to make money at this market, because XRP is a shoe-in for a good, profitable market cycle. Even though we've had this gnarly bear market, you just got to ignore that. You got to understand that value is going to come into this market, and value is derived from a functioning product that works and has a lot of value, which is XRP. You can make the argument with a million different coins, but this is one that has a track record. This is a high cap that has performed well for a long time, so just ignore all that FUD. Anyways, guys, for the people that have waited this long, that want to hear more about my video course and signals, I'll give you guys some information on that. First off, you guys should join the signals first and foremost. If you can only pick one or the other, I go with the signals because you can copy my trades, you can make some money, and you can take that profit and then reinvest it back into the signal and back into the course if that's actually the route that you guys want to take. If you're somebody that wants to learn how to trade these markets, I obviously think that you guys should sign up for the signals first because you can, follow those trades, make that money. And then if you're somebody that really wants to dive into my video course and wants to learn how to trade these markets, that's why I have the 20-part video series. It's going to dive into some intermediate stuff, to some more beginner stuff. We're going to wrap it up with some more advanced stuff, trading plans, market cycles, support and resistance, Fibonacci, all of the above, all the things that I use, all the things you guys see me do in this video. I'm actually going to be teaching them to you in that 20-part video series. And so I highly recommend you guys check that out. Links are going to be in the description of this video. You guys can pay credit or debit by clicking the link to my Selly, or if you guys would like to purchase it in crypto, you can join my Discord server. It's free. Join clicking in the description of this video. There you're going to find the invitation link. Once you guys have access, you can shoot me a message or any of the 6 moderators a message, and we will all be here to help you guys get started on the right path of profiting today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for the support. And with all that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.